Adam Berg! Welcome back
It's an honor to be here.
to another episode of Unabridged Waters.
Almost forget your name there for a second.
Eventually I'm gonna get it down, but no, I'm still tainted by Berg Waters.
I've been practicing my links in the mirror every night.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't make me prove that.
But speaking of choosing names, that is actually the next topic that we're going to discuss.
Picking a name.
Picking names.
It is a bitch.
Is it?
A little bit.
What's your story?
I don't have just going through a bunch of name options and thinking about other ones after I thought I came up with one.
Like, so for me, I did a lot of name generators.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Is that what you
Sometimes it's probably like a better route to go. Just like, I don't know, somebody pitches you an idea and you're like, I like that. That's good. Let's go with that one. But if you're thinking about them on your own, I don't know. It's hard to like pick just one.
Yeah. So the problem I had with the name generators was you like put in some keywords you want, and then you hit enter, and then it'll just like give you a bunch of names. But I realized after a couple of times doing this that it just has like standard phrases or like standard words that's going to attach to your keywords. So the only difference between all of the names, like I could just type in Berg Waters and then it'll give me a huge list, like Berg Waters podcast, right? That as an example, and then I could just put in Andy, and then it'll be a huge list, and it'll all be the same. And one of the options will be like Andy's podcast. So it's inspiring for like the first time, and then
don't try more than once.
and then the second time you're like, oh, okay, I see how this is going. Like 3 different name generators work in that way.
But it's lazy. They're just really banking on you picking one out of the first list.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's you just do it in your head now. Just pick your keywords and just the 4 or 5 different phrases.
Yeah.
So,
but then
Berg and the Waters.
But then also, if you like go to check unless your keywords are really unique, like if it's just your name or something, and then you use that name generator, just for the example, say they attach podcasts at the end, and then you go to see if they're like the domain is available. Mm-hmm. No. Like they're always taken.
Oh yeah.
Unless
there was an annoying thing like that I ran into on Etsy, because apparently it's not only names that are in use that are unavailable, it's any name that's ever been used. So even if like you made one and then deleted it or changed your name, that's still unavailable for everyone else now.
Wow. So you could just be bullshit. A dick and use a bunch of really good names and then
just think of all the common stuff. Just to troll everybody on Etsy, just so everyone has to have like complicated numbers and shit in their names.
Yeah. So
underscore.
So you didn't use. So you just came up with a bunch of names off the top of your head, then?
Kinda. I guess I do a little bit of a story, but it would have been a good story, but I didn't go with that name, so.
Well, I'm sitting here talking about Berg Waters, and that's not the name of this podcast, so.
No, it's definitely not. So back when I used to play like Skyrim and shit, and like the Elder Scrolls games, or no, it doesn't really matter, but like I would always use Adamus Burgess is my name. Just throwing us onto my already existing name, because I'm not that creative. But I like this way it sounded. And so I was going to go with... How did it come about? Well, somehow I stumbled across a couple of different spellings and pronunciations and definitions of Adamus, and one being like Adamas, which was like invincible and indestructible. So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it could have been Adamus Arts, or another one was Adamus with like a U, like US, and that meant like something else that sounded cool. But ultimately I didn't go with any of them, because after finding all these different spellings and origins and definitions, I realized, well, that's confusing. So is that? So I'm just gonna try and look it up. Is that US, OUS, AS,
Okay. Yeah.
IS, ASS?
Sure. So then, how did you stumble onto Offbeat?
I wanted the word originals in it because I actually... Am I too far away from the microphone?
Could be.
I could be. So I wanted...
That was a really long chair creak.
Yeah, it
You need to
was.
get some WD-40 or something.
Yeah, or just a stool.
I like those chairs. I like they're comfy.
I'm loud in them, though. I can't sit still. You just need to give me a big bean bag.
No, we just need some. We need some lube.
I agree. And then something for the chair.
Yeah.
But no, what was it? I wanted instead of artworks, I wanted the word originals in it because ultimately I'd like a website where, like, you can, because I make music too.
Okay.
So I wanted like a kind of my artwork and music all kind of in one place existing together. And I guess artworks can apply to music too, but originals kind of, I don't know, broadens the,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Original tracks, original artwork.
Yeah, it's just originals. Doesn't matter what's on there. I made it, motherfucker. Yeah. But it was gonna be, was it Oddball? Yeah, because I kind of draw some goofy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Crab burgers, if you haven't visited the website yet.
Crab burgers.
But so I wanted Oddball, I think, and Oddball original sounded good. But I think I went to go type it in for like GoDaddy or something, and the domain name was taken. But
You have a problem with things being taken after you type.
I guess
shit
I'm
in.
not very original, so I guess good thing I didn't put it in the fucking name of my business. But I do make artwork, so I guess I'm not lying to you there. But I don't know, it was just a different O word that kind of worked, and Offbeat works also with the music aspect if I go that route. But yeah, that's, I guess that's not a,
what
a
have you-
story.
What have you done with as far as the music goes?
I bought a new guitar. Does that count?
Yeah,
And I play it.
you do.
So I don't know. I haven't really, because I had this kind of idea originally that like each piece. Sorry, I'm trying not to creak. I'll just lean all the way back and not move. I had this kind of fantasy of writing like kind of an instrumental piece for like each art piece, so it has like a backstory and like a musical theme and stuff like that, so you can like something you can listen to while looking at it.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
then kind of ran the same problem I did with writing those goofy backstories for all of them. Like, yeah, some of them just don't need one or doesn't really inspire one. Like this one, I couldn't really write one for that. It's more abstract. There's not something specific going on.
Do you think?
It'd be cool to write. I could write music for that one though, but
Yeah, if I were to ask you to play something piratey,
piratey.
yeah, would you be able to wing it on your guitar?
No, I don't
No?
think so. I don't know what pirate music sounds like on guitar.
Well, so that's what
All I can think of is a SpongeBob theme song right now, and I'm pretty sure that's not. I can do a lot of while I play just guitar
Yeah.
and hope it sounds piratey.
So the reason why I was attracted to this print in general was because it reminded me of like Kraken tentacles, because I like
Oh yeah, that's cool.
playing the game Sea of Thieves, and in that game
I can see it.
you can whip out these instruments and play piratey music.
Oh yeah.
And the instruments they have like a version of it. They have a banjo, which is a guitar, obviously, but
Yeah, they're exactly
but
the
then
same.
they have I think it's called a Gordy, but it's basically like a windy thing, but you
Oh.
hold it like a guitar.
Weird.
You never heard of that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems to me that most pirate music is written using that instrument.
Gordy?
Yeah.
All right. So I just gotta find either a banjo.
Or you can
or
translate Gordy music into your electric acoustic guitar, whatever you prefer.
I'll see what I can whip up, but don't expect me to improvise it. give me a couple days and
Really pushing your
a
skills.
lot of pot
Yeah.
and a lot of pirate references, things to watch, music. Do you have any pirate music to reference?
Other than that game, no.
I think there is a band that does like pirate metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't SpongeBob have that like
Ailstorm. I
that
think.
band? Those two dudes that would play occasionally on the boat when it'd switch from cartoon to live action.
I don't.
Or is there any music playing in the intro where he's like, "Alrighty, kids"?
Yeah.
Is it a guitar?
Can't remember.
Oh.
Pull it up now.
I can't. All of our phones are being used.
Fuck.
Yeah, we're screwed. I guess that's the end of that
Alrighty,
time.
kids.
I can't hear you. By the way, this print is the print that was used in the first episode that I mangled with the camera angle.
Because he screwed up. But it's here this time because I screwed up. And I didn't bring one of my prints.
But yeah, so I thought of it as being Kraken tentacles.
Oh, I see it. It's cool.
Like you're on the pirate ship, you are a pirate, and from that perspective, you're looking up at the Kraken, about to wrap up your ship and take you down to fucking Davy Crockett. Is it Davy Jones? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Davy Jones. Davy Crockett is, I think, the
Some other Crockett. I don't
he's
think
the
it's
dude who wears
Davy
like
Crockett.
the raccoon tail, the skin coon hat,
Is it Davy or is it something else?
coon skin cap.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Davy Crockett.
Would you say?
Does yours creak as much?
Well, I mean, let's look at the size difference.
Well, I know. So I'm just wondering if it's that or.
I got a little bit. I got a little bit of a creak.
How was it in audio when you were editing?
You can hear it.
It's pretty there.
Yeah. I do. I came up with a plan as far as the videos go. Clearly, there's an issue with videos being too long, and I have grown new gray hairs trying to argue against that point. But this now I've come to
Who are you arguing with?
everybody.
How-
We even talked about the episodes being too long.
An hour and a half isn't that long.
I know.
That's like standard podcast length.
Well, it depends.
These people are just doing they're doing too much. That's the problem. They just need to sit still and for an hour and a half to 3 hours and listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
They can't have this bite-sized 20-minute. We got too much to say. There's too much important information. We can't condense it. We can't condense it in 20, 30 minutes.
Here's my compromise.
We need to make them longer, 40, 50, 24-hour videos.
We can do
round
that.
the clock.
But the compromise is to kind of go the Joe Rogan route, where we record a big long episode and we post that, but then we also do highlights.
Snippets. There's little snippety snips.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then that gives us more content to upload anyways.
Yeah. That's true.
So it works out business-wise and makes
That's how I got turned on to the Joe Rogan podcast.
potential viewers happy.
Just interesting little snippets.
Yeah. I think that's how I did too, but then eventually I got to the point where I was like,
I want to hear more about
I want to hear the rest of this conversation. And then I had to try to find the full-length ones. Would you say that starting this online business was difficult?
No, I won't say difficult, but difficult in the sense you got to make sure to like do stuff. You got to make sure to like do a little bit of research and learn some things. None of it was difficult, but there is a to-do list, and sometimes that's the hardest part. Is just doing stuff.
Yeah.
I would say the hardest part, honestly, was literally just getting to the point where I can make a frickin' print.
Right?
Like being able to take my finished work off my tablet, get it to the right pixel density and size and all that to get it to where I can actually print and not have it be a big blurry mess.
Would you say if you were to compare the difficulties you had in your startup now are less than somebody who were trying to do a startup 20 years ago? Pre-internet?
I don't know. For what I'm doing, making digital prints, yeah, I'd say it'd be real difficult because I'd have to do them by hand. I don't know. 20 years ago, I don't know what the printing technology. I mean, I know they had printers, obviously. And
I said 20 years ago, but I realized that wasn't long enough, so that's why I then added pre-internet.
oh, okay. So
Because internet's what's made startups pretty.
yeah, I mean, honestly, if the difficulty wouldn't be there in the sense of like I said, figuring out all the technical computer side of things because it's pre all that, but then I guess it's kind of sucks because you make the one picture, the one painting, and then you have that to sell, and then once you do, it's gone. I can just kind of keep beating that.
Right. But not only that, but you also have to find a place to sell it because it's pre-internet.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
either like you put ads in the paper or magazines, or you go to galleries, or
I mean,
craft
you could.
fairs.
There was still like you could always find those fairs and things, markets in the newspaper,
a street corner.
yeah, just slang your paintings on the corner.
The reason I asked those Gary makes a point of how he's struck by how kids take all the opportunities at their fingertips for granted. Referencing that it's a lot easier to do startups now than it was for him when he was doing his startup.
Yeah.
And I guess
the
internet plays a huge role in that.
Yeah, referencing the internet and all the people you can reach using it.
Yeah.
Which I get, but I mean also there's a good time to get in too where there's not a lot of social media gurus. I'm sure becoming like a social media guru now is probably a lot harder than it was at first because there are probably only like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Now that's a very probably saturated market. Everyone is trying to sell shit online. Everyone's trying to sell shit on eBay. So I mean, you might be shocked how many people aren't doing it, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of people doing it.
I feel like the word or the term saturated, when somebody says, like, you pitch a YouTube idea or whatever, and the person you're pitching it to is like, that idea is too saturated. I believe that is absolute bullshit. Like, I feel like if you put in enough effort, it doesn't matter if what you're doing is slightly like somebody else. Content per person is always going to be different because it's different people making it. There's always something that's going to be slightly different. And whether or not it's saturated...
If you're a diamond in the rough or you have that gift or niche, then yeah, sure, you're probably going to shine above the rest. But I mean, for the majority of the people who are pushing competitive content with their peers, more people, it's just numbers, more people, more competition. Unless you're, top of the pack, I mean? I'm not saying don't go for it, but it's not bullshit. It's numbers. If there's 5 people, would you rather have to fight 5 people or 30?
Well, my point is...
Don't use it as an excuse not to go for it.
There may be 1,000 people doing YouTube videos on craft beers, right?
Yeah.
But there's only going to be like a handful of videos or channels that are making actual income off of their content, because everybody else, either the content itself is garbage or they're not really putting enough effort to get found.
What if it's both? Or what if they're putting a lot of effort but it's garbage?
Well, then
how do you know the
they're
difference?
only putting effort in? I don't know what they're putting effort into then, because if
garbage content.
Yeah, garbage content. If you're putting effort into improving yourself, there's plenty of room at monetizing level to get there. So like when somebody says 1,000 people are making a video on this topic, all I'm thinking about is the 2 people that everybody knows of. So to me, it's like, nah, there's really only just 2. Everybody else is at a level that I could easily surpass if I just give a little more effort or learn a little bit more or find somebody that can help me.
Well, I mean, the only way to find out is to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you that more people is just as easy as this less people.
Yeah.
It's just more of a challenge. I mean, if you want it, you got to go for it either way. But
Yeah.
if you're picking something that everybody is doing, expect it to be a lot harder.
It's fair. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but the book's not here.
I didn't.
Yeah. You want to hear the story with that one?
Can I make an excellent reference from what we just said to, or draw a parallel from what we just said to a meme that I think wraps up what I'm saying?
Go for it.
It was a picture of a digital artist sitting down by a tablet, and he said, "I'll never be as good as the old masters." And then it was, I don't know, some guy, but he was drawing like Bugs Bunny. So that guy.
Yeah.
And it had the quote, "I'll never be as good as the old masters." And then it was like a picture of, I don't know, one of the old masters painting one of the old master
old
paintings. Yeah.
Okay.
And saying, "I'll never be as good as the old masters." And then there's just a picture of a caveman scribbling a horse on a wall. And just, "I am the best."
That's a great motivational meme.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Caveman didn't have a lot of competition, so it was easy to feel confident in that realm and claim that title.
I think that's just a mindset, though.
Well, yeah, I don't think you ever want to feel like you're the best.
Well, I'm saying you do want to feel like you're the best. The optimism
what
is
do you
going to
have?
help you keep you going.
If you feel like you're the best, what's your motivation to grow? You're the best.
If you feel like
You
you're...
want to feel like you're number two, always.
Ah,
See what I'm saying?
so you're good, but there's somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
Fucking wisdom.
Just pours right out
Learn that
of you.
from Dragon Ball Z.
So the book was a library book.
Oh, and you had to return it?
So
Let's just shoot this podcast in a library. Fuck it. We'll just go every Sunday.
the last two episodes, we talked a lot about being crippled by things not going the way you want them to, and so this is yes, or at least we should have. If we didn't, then we kind of missed out on a lot of big points. But so this is an example of something unfortunate happening, and now I am developing a different tactic. And what I did was I used one of my free Audible credits to then download the book digitally, and so now I listen to it and then take notes that way.
You could still just like get a little clip of the book and photo, kind of put it in. So
I can do that, but I also like the idea of not even having the book on the table too, because the book doesn't fucking matter.
What book?
Exactly. But I'm going to have to rely a little bit harder on these notes because
We don't have the book.
my retention from listening to something as compared to reading something is quite a bit different.
Yeah, you don't retain as much.
It's not as good.
You zone out like, oh, I just missed like 5 minutes of stuff.
Yeah. And then I'm constantly like rewinding, like, what do you say? What do you say? Especially if I'm trying to write down a quote or whatever. But the reason why this is a big deal is because even though this happened, I'm not being crippled by it. I said, fuck it. I'm going to make it work anyway. We're going to push through.
Right on.
Find something that benefits me from this unfortunate event, and that being that now there's not something here distracting. And if I were good,
I feel like I can see you better. There's not all this obstruction in the way.
There's more room for bottles and caps and cards.
Yeah, Gary's not blocking my view.
Yeah.
Fucking Gary.
Jesus Christ. So
These fucking internet gurus, I tell you.
So we're gonna like really wing it here.
All right.
And I really have no idea where to go because I just wrote all these notes. I didn't really get the chance to go over them or anything.
I'm excited.
So this is great.
Unknown territory.
So let's talk about making...
Anything can happen right now.
Yeah, let's talk about making the market care about you.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.